So the next big announcement that we have at Gamescom, it's more like a sneak preview, is that we're giving to the developers over here at Gamescom. Now, this is the Razer Nabu. You know, this was announced at CES, the world's largest tech show, and with thousands of new products over there. This, the Razer Nabu won the best of CES. So, what does it do? Now, for the people who are not so familiar with it, it does pretty much three things. It does notifications, it does data for the quantified self, and of course it does, it's probably the world's first truly social wearable. Now, let's talk about notifications. You're familiar with smartwatches, I'm sure, but the thing about smartwatches is we don't believe in doing this, you know, trying to tap out your messages and stuff like that. You're better off just taking a phone and doing whatever you need from it. Now, the Razer Nabu was designed for you to have notifications that you glance at. So what will happen is that if I get a notification from my phone, it could be an iOS phone, it could be an Android phone, it will be streamed directly to my wrist, and this is what we call a private screen. So as I speak with you, I can turn it to myself, I can read the message or the notification, I can see what's going on, I can go back to talk to you, and you can't see what's being written over here. It could be my 20 girlfriends messaging me or something like that, right? So in essence, notifications, anything from calls to emails to app updates, everything you can customize it to say that if my mom is calling me, it's going to vibrate and say, you better call mom, and things like that. So notifications, that's the first thing. The second thing that the Nabu does, and we like to call it data for the quantified self, it gets you lots and lots of data. For example, the steps that you have taken, you know, the distance you've traveled. So I've burnt, unfortunately, 201 calories today because I haven't really been acting, you know, I've been sitting here just eating and doing nothing. But in essence, this tracks everything. And what does this all do? Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but essentially it allows you all kinds of data that can make you live smarter. Now, the third thing that this does, as I mentioned, it's probably the world's first truly social wearable. Now, think about it. If somebody else has a Nabu and I've got a Nabu, if I just have a high five with him, I can be exchanging contacts, Steam IDs, profiles, or whatever it is on the fly. I don't have to do anything else. Just by doing a high five, it will trigger off the exchange of contacts. Now, on top of that, different applications can make use of this band-to-band communication. This is the only wearable that allows band-to-band communication where I could say, for example, I'm in a subway or metro, right? I'll sit there and it can give me a notification. Oh, there's a level 80 high elf in this near you. And I can go like, oh wow, you know, who's it, you know, beside me and things like that. First truly social wearable. All of this is on an open development platform, and that's what we are most excited about. And we are talking to all kinds of the top developers worldwide. Recently, we just announced a partnership where this game called We Run, or also known as Timmy Run Every Day, which is the biggest mobile game in China. 70 million people play that. Now, let me tell you about the game. Basically, it's a side-scroller. You know, you're jumping off obstacles and stuff like that. Now, what this does is that if I walk 10,000 steps a day with my Nabu, I will get a distance boost in the game. That's pretty crazy. Now, on top of that, this is sleep tracking capabilities. Now, if I have a good night's sleep, I get an extra life in the game. So, essentially, it makes you think. Like today, I'm probably thinking I should exercise more, but everybody says I should exercise more. But if I do exercise more and walk a little bit more, I can get a distance boost in my game. If I sleep better, and I should be sleeping better, I'll get an extra life in the game. Makes absolute sense. And this is just one of the ideas that one of the biggest developers in the world has done. And we're really excited. So today we have come to Gamescom. We have talked to a lot of developers. Lots of people are excited about it. And we will be launching the Razer Nabu a little later this year in Europe.
Cool. So this year we can really expect to have this one on your hand.
Absolutely. So, well, I would say that we will launch it in Europe, but you know how Razer products are, right? Yeah. You know, once we launch it, boom, you know, lots of people will come and it's sold out in a couple of seconds and things like that. But we're doing our best to make as many as possible worldwide right now.
Is there also possible with the SDK for that? Will you leave that for other people also, just not developers, or can anyone else get the SDK on that one also?
So we're working on it to do two kinds of SDKs, where it's something which is really deep to be working with the developers and stuff like that, but something else which is a little simpler for anyone who wants to be able, who's got no coding experience, but who wants to be able to do something with the band. So it's something we're working on at this point of time. But right now, we're really focused on the hardcore developers to come up with some really cool apps for the Nabu.
Really cool. Great things. I love to get my hands on that when it comes to